Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We will chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
ya aste manasa smaran,
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
indriyartan vimudhatma,
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
mithyachara sa uchyate.
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
Yastvindriyani manasa,
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
karmendriyai karmayogam,
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
asaktah savishishyate.
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
Niyatam kuru karmatvam,
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्
karmajyayo hyakarmanah,
कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
Sharira yatra pichate,
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
na prasidhyeda karmanah,
न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanah,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
mukta sangha samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
Saha yajna praja srishtva
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
purovacha prajapatihi
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
anena prasavishyadvam
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
yeshavostvishta kamadhuk.
येषवोऽस्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session we were seeing this phrase Sharira yatra in some depth. We'll be going into more depth today. It's such a powerful phrase which he is using. Now, this verse itself is very interesting in terms of its construction. If you see the first line of this verse, he says, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. This is a direct instruction. Do this. He's putting it in the language of assertion. He's directly telling us what we should do. Now, in the second line, he says, Sharira yatra api na prasiddhyet akarmanaha, which means even the maintenance of your body is not possible with akarma, with inaction. So this is a statement of negation, actually double negation. One is he says, Sharira yatra is not possible. As of now, in this context, we are taking it as maintenance of the body. So even the maintenance of the body is not possible. So that is one language of negation. And then he says, akarmana, without action. This is very interesting because when we see these two lines together and when we use the yogic approach, we get to learn a lot of psychology in terms of communication. See, whenever you want to communicate something to someone, there are two ways of going about it. Two approaches, we can say. This is in a very broad sense. One approach is you tell the person in a language of assertion whatever it is that you want to communicate. Supposing there are three objects and you want the person to pick up object B. Let's say A, B, C. Three objects are there. You want that person to pick up B. So you tell that person, pick up that object B. This is direct communication. In direct communication, we always use the language of assertion. Now, the other way of communicating is instead of using the language of assertion and directly telling the person what he has to do, you use the language of negation and tell him what he should not do. For example, in this case, A, B, C are there. you want the person to pick up B, instead of telling him that, you tell him, don't pick up A and C. Avoid picking up A and C. Now, you're not directly telling the person what he should do, but the message is conveyed in an indirect way. If he grasps the language of negation which you've used fully, his subconscious mind will pick up the actual message, which is, if A and C is not to be picked up, then he has to pick up B only. Now, there are advantages with both these approaches. It has to be, they have to be used very carefully according to the context. A master uses both these kinds of approaches in terms of communication to effectively send across the message to the student. When the student has surrendered to a very good extent, when the student has no blocks whatsoever, and is able to receive whatever the master is giving him, then the language of assertion will help tremendously. When the master says, do this directly, the message seeps in, because there are no blocks. But when the student has certain blocks, generally the human mind has a lot of blocks, no? When something is told directly, the mind does not want to pick up. The ego gets hurt. Then what the master does is, instead of telling it directly by using the language of assertion, he gives an indirect message by using the language of negation. He tells him what not to do, what to avoid. Now, what happens when the master tells the students what to avoid? Now, the student keeps focusing on that, but actually his subconscious mind picks up the key message. Because when you remove everything else, whatever the truth is has to be grasped. There is no other choice there. In the second approach, the psychology is that the ego does not feel threatened. The student feels, oh, I have discovered whatever I have to do. Actually, it is a master who has communicated. Instead of taking a straight approach, he has taken an indirect approach to communicate the same thing. But the psychology which has been employed is so effective that the student feels he has discovered, he or she. Now, there is a big advantage in that approach, because the blocks of the student were very intelligently circumvented by the master by using this indirect approach. Because the aim of a master is to uplift the student somehow. If he finds that this block is there, he will go around it. If he finds some other block is there and some other method will help in overcoming that block, he will use that. By hook or by crook, he wants the student to move to the next level. Now, generally, in one context, you either use the direct approach or you use the indirect approach. What is very interesting here is that in the same verse, the first line, Krishna is using the language of assertion. And in the second line, he is using the language of negation, that too double negation. Sharira yatra is not possible. Not possible is one negation. With akarma, with inaction, that is without action. Instead, the direct approach there would have been, Sharira yatra is possible only with action. He doesn't put it that way. Now, this is mind-boggling because in the same verse, first line is a language of assertion, second line is a language of negation. So, if you are a very serious sadhak, you will pause here and wonder, what is the psychology which Krishna is applying? Does Arjuna have a block or does he not have a block? Because if we say he has a block, then why did Krishna use the language of assertion? If we say no, he didn't have a block, then why is Krishna using the language of negation? Now that is where the yogic approach helps you in getting the deeper message of this verse. In two successive lines, he is using two opposite approaches. What does that indicate? That indicates the complexity of the human mind. See, Arjuna and Arjuna's turmoil, the entire confusion which Arjuna went through, the first chapter, everything actually represents the human mind. If you understand Arjuna, you will actually understand your own mind better. This is the yogic approach. If you read it merely as a story, nothing is going to happen. The entire first chapter is about Arjuna giving out whatever his thoughts were. So many confusions. Now, why do we study that? One entire chapter and then several verses of the second chapter is devoted to Arjuna letting out all his emotions and crying and giving out all kinds of logic which are actually totally illogical. Why should one chapter and many verses, almost 10 verses of the second chapter, be devoted to Arjuna's rambling? It is even, the first chapter is called a yoga of Arjuna's sorrow. How can sorrow be yoga? It is not that. When you study Arjuna and the thought process of Arjuna using the yogic approach, actually you get a complete understanding of what your mind is and how your mind plays tricks, various tricks. Now, one is directly we understand Arjuna's state from the first chapter. Not only that, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, by using the yogic approach and analyzing the psychology which Krishna is using when he is communicating to Arjuna, we can get an understanding of what Arjuna's state is. And through that understanding, we can understand what the human mind is, what your mind is. See, when we say human mind also, it looks very general. Directly, what is the condition of your mind? So, in this verse, since he is using both these approaches, the language of assertion and the language of negation, what we understand is Arjuna had a block at some point of time. At some other point of time, he was able to remove the block and surrender. And then again, the blocks surfaced. This is the complexity of the human mind. Supposing you want to determine, is this person good or bad? Let it be anyone. You can never answer the question, is a person good or bad? You will find that the person will have a lot of goodness and some badness also. Sometimes the goodness will manifest, sometimes the badness will manifest. We can say a person is predominantly good or predominantly bad based on the percentage. But you can't classify a person into good or bad. That has been so beautifully depicted in the Mahabharata. Yogishri was such a noble soul. He was a very virtuous person. He was called Dharma Raja because Dharma, righteousness, he always followed righteousness. But in a fit of a moment, because he had a weakness, for gambling, his mind went berserk. And he did things which otherwise he wouldn't do. Now the question comes, is Yudhishthira a good person or a bad person? It's a combination only. More of goodness, less of negativities. Similarly, if you read characters, how they have described the characters of Duryodhana, Karna, Duryodhana especially if you take, he had a lot of negative qualities, but he also exhibited some great qualities. That has also been mentioned in the Mahabharata. So is he good or bad? We can't say, but predominantly bad. The proportion is varying. So your mind cannot be classified into one category. This is something which you need to understand. When you are assessing yourself, if you are not objective, you will brand yourself. You will judge yourself. Why do these great masters say don't judge anyone, including yourself? Because the moment you judge, then you are making that person unidimensional. Whereas everyone is multidimensional. So many aspects are there. There is so much of badness in a good person. There is so much of goodness in a bad person. Now it's always a mix. So even when it comes to the state of surrender, sometimes Arjuna surrenders almost fully because the blocks take a back seat when he uses his willpower. Sometimes when the inner blocks come and muddle his thinking, then he gets into a state of doubting and confusion. So has Arjuna surrendered or has he not surrendered? We can't answer that question. He has started the process of surrender and that is increasing. Verse by verse, his surrender is increasing. That's all we can say. So just to demonstrate or to indicate the complexity of the human mind, Lord Krishna is using two opposite techniques in one verse, which is usually never done. If you generally take any scripture, you will find a method. At least in one verse he will use one method, or generally it will be few verses, and then he will change the flow of thought. He will change the approach. But in this verse, he employs two opposite techniques. Now, when you don't use the yogic approach, you will not notice all this. So it does not matter what approach he is using. Krishna is saying, even maintenance of your body is not possible without action. Go to the next verse, next verse. That's how people study the Bhagavad Gita in a very superficial way. The study of Bhagavad Gita shouldn't be merely academic. It should help you to study your own mind, which is what is the study of Arjuna, and it should help you to conquer your mind, which is what we get by studying the various messages of Lord Krishna. Studying means not intellectual study, it's a yogic approach, in depth. And in attuning to Krishna, we get attuned to the infinite. It's a journey. It's a journey from the mind to the infinite, from Arjuna to Krishna. So you observe your own mind. Sometimes you will be in a very good mood. Sometimes you will be in a very bad mood. Sometimes you will get very angry. Sometimes you will be soft. You will be very gentle. Sometimes you will be disciplined. Sometimes you will be indisciplined. So that is why the sadhana which a master gives, the basic sadhana will remain the same, but when it comes to application, it will vary according to the situation. You can't have a hard and fast rule there. So it's a very, very powerful message which is being given by the very construction of this verse, by constructing it in a way where two opposite approaches of communication have been clubbed together. See, if you miss it, you will miss it. But in the yogic approach, we don't miss anything. We squeeze out the entire juice from the scriptures. And it doesn't happen by using the intellectual approach. It is by going into the depth, combining devotion with intellection, and absorbing the energy of the master, that you can get all the subtle messages which are being conveyed. So when you do your own self-assessment, don't brand yourself. If you start exploring your own mind, you will find a wide spectrum. The Rakshasas, the demons, are also within you. The gods, they are also within you. That is, the negative qualities are the demons. The positive qualities are the Rakshasas. The Kauravas are also within you. The Pandavas are also within you. And what is very interesting is Krishna, who represents the infinite, that is also within you only. So as a sadhak, when you're striving for spiritual perfection, don't bottle yourself up. When you're applying these principles, don't do sadhana in a unilateral way. Depending upon what aspect of your mind is manifesting, you use that aspect of the wisdom. Sometimes when you're feeling very tamasic, lazy, then you inject rajas and get into action. But sometimes when the rajas is too much and you're highly stressed, restless, then you give it a sattvic direction. When your approach is flexible, then you will be able to handle your mind tactfully and you will be able to slowly conquer your mind. But if your approach is inflexible, if your approach is rigid, then you will just go by mechanical rules and regulations. Actually, that is what has happened today. The real essence of spirituality is not understood. Rather, people understand spirituality as merely a set of rules and regulations. Those rules and regulations have to change according to times, but the principles will never change. So every Sunday, this is an opportunity for you to learn the principles, not mere rules. So when you're handling your mind, when you're finding that your mind is sattvic, it is in a state of surrender, use the first approach. Directly tell your mind, do this, do that, it will listen. But when you find that your mind is resisting, sometimes that happens. Do this. No, why should I do this? Your mind is asking you back. It is resisting. Then don't use the direct approach. Use the indirect approach to slowly tame the mind. So it is not only about the master communicating to the student. That anyway the master is going to do it in a proper way. It is about you handling your own mind. That is the sadhana tip which you get from the construction of this particular verse. So on one hand he says, do niyatam karma. On the other hand he says, Sharira yatra is not possible without action. So if you are a good sadhak, the message which you will get from the second line is Sharira yatra is possible only with action. If you have a lot of blocks, then also it will work, but you will think it is your idea. The master has no problem. If the student wants to take the credit, the master says, please take the credit, no problem. As long as you follow the principles. But if you don't have any blocks, then you can see through and receive the message directly from the master. Even in the language of negation, a good sadhak will be able to convert it into the language of assertion and get the direct message. That is what you should strive for. Let the master use any approach. If the student is fully focused, he will go on receiving things directly. But the moment the blocks come in, then the tussle happens. The process gets delayed. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the end result is going to be the same. So, what did we see last week? Sharira yatra. Sharira means body. Yatra, we saw two dimensions of yatra. First dimension is maintenance. The maintenance of the body is not possible without action. And then the second dimension which we saw was sustenance. The body cannot sustain itself. We define life itself as activity only. Inaction means death, putrefaction and death. See, running waters, running water does not collect any dirt, moss. Wherever water stagnates, it collects a lot of moss. The putrefaction starts happening. Now, I'll give you two more dimensions of yatra, which are a little more from a higher level. But before that, when we talk of maintenance and sustenance, we are talking about the Sharira, body. Now, last week it was explained to you from the physical body's point of view. But what the great yogis say is that there are three types of bodies. When we talk of Sharira, the first type of body is Sthula Sharira. Sthula Sharira means gross body, that is the physical body. Directly is talking about the physical body only, but yogi's language is very deep and mystical. There are so many hidden messages always. Now the second type of body is called Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira means subtle body. What is your subtle body composed of? Your higher pranas. The Sthula Sharira is composed of the physical body and the lower pranas, the prana vayu Sharira. The subtle body is composed of the higher pranas, the energy centers called chakras in Sanskritam language, and then your emotions and your thoughts. All these put together, they form your Sukshma Sharira, subtle body or astral body. You can use any term. That is also Sharira only, body only. So, gross body can be seen with the eyes, can be experienced with the senses. Subtle body cannot be seen with the eyes. You require the inner senses, the subtle senses to experience them. In meditation, advanced meditation, that's what the yogis practice, to become more and more subtle, to experience the Sukshma Sharira. In Prana Tattva level 1, that empowerment course, which is available online, the first step was taken. Within the Sthula Sharira itself, the physical body, which is what the Kaya Tattva was about, but there also we went up to the intracellular level. See, even the physical body, you don't know it fully. You know only some basic organs. And then in Prana Tattva level 1, we went up to the Prana Vayu Sharira. Now in further advanced levels, when we do Prana Tattva level 2 in the future, the higher pranic body initiations will be given. The empowerment meditations will be given for you to experience your higher pranic body. We'll see that in the future, because those are very advanced sadhanas. A lot of preparation is required. And then comes the third type of body, which is called Karana Sharira, causal body. That which causes all the thoughts, all the desires, all the actions, everything. And what is it that causes your thoughts and desires? They are called samskaras, vasanas, the seeds of your desires and thoughts, the psychic impressions. Deep within you, all those seeds are there, and they are only manifesting every day into thoughts, desires. They are defining your individuality. All those seeds put together, they are called Karana Sharira, that which causes, the causal body. So here he is using the word Sharira. Now from a yogic perspective, Sharira is not merely the physical body. It means Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira. So I want you to stretch your mind a little more so that you are able to accommodate these subtler aspects also into this word Sharira, because that will expand your understanding, that will deepen your sadhana. So see, if you say maintenance of your Sharira is not possible, one is we saw at the physical level. Now you see it at the subtler level. Maintenance of your Sukshma Sharira is not possible without karma. Or rather, we will go to the message directly. The maintenance of your Sukshma Sharira is possible only with the right type of karmas. So karma is also divided into three types. When you do action at the Sthula level, the gross level, it is called gross karma, Sthula karma. When you do karma at the subtle level, they are called Sukshma karma. Now when you do karma at the causal level, they are called Karana karma. So for each level, different sadhanas have been given by the great yogis. What should you do with the physical body? What are the kriyas you should do? How you should engage your body in action? What kind of speech will purify you? Speech is also a part of the physical body, no? Everything have been laid out. Similarly, how to deepen your breathing so that your pranas are pure, are purified. Then how to purify your emotions, that is Bhakti Yoga. How to purify your thoughts, that is Jnana Yoga. All these form your subtle sadhana, the Sukshma karma. So this chapter is about karma yoga, these three types of karmas. The Sthula karmas, the Sukshma karmas and the Karana karmas. Karana karma is dhyana, meditation. Meditation means getting into that silence, not doing anything. That is only applicable at the advanced level. Initially, when you surrender to a master, he will lend his energy and get you into a meditative state, which is very useful so that your spiritual evolution is speeded up. In an empowerment program, that's what a master does. All of you would have experienced that. Hours together of meditation, you are able to do all that so easily because the master is sitting and giving the empowerment. The Guru Shakti is flowing. If that is not there, you will not be able to do it. It is not a mere lecture or just a healing session. Empowerment sessions are totally different. So the maintenance of the physical body is not possible through action. That is easy to understand. Now maintenance of your subtle body is not possible, or is possible only if you do the right kind of karmas, if you choose the right kind of emotions, positive emotions, if you choose the right kind of thoughts. Those are all, it's called manasika karma. The karma which you do through your speech is called vachika karma. Different terminologies. But you forget the terminologies. You understand what the concept is, the principle is. So when you're doing dhyana, that is also a karma only, where you are burning up the seeds with the grace of the Guru Shakti. You cannot do it alone. It's the most difficult thing. But when you surrender to the higher Shakti, and when the Guru Shakti flows, that helps you to burn up all the seeds at the causal level. That is the subtlest karma a person can do. So maintenance of the pranas are not possible if the right karmas are not. In other words, if you don't do deep breathing, your pranas will get impaired. The maintenance of your mind is not possible if you don't generate positive emotions. Your mind will get disturbed. The maintenance of your thoughts is not possible if you don't generate the right kind of thoughts. The generating the right kind of thoughts is karma. If you don't do that properly, it is akarma at a subtler level. So in these first two dimensions, I'm giving you more depth than what, and then we'll go to the next two dimensions also. And so in the first two dimensions of maintenance and sustenance, so one is to see what yatra is, maintenance and sustenance. Now you go into the depth of Sharira, you get so many combinations. So at the physical level, what is maintenance? What is karma? At the pranic level, what is it? At the emotional level, what is it? At the intellectual level, what should I do? So your sadhana starts becoming very deep. See, when we talk of spiritual sadhana, it is not just mechanically practicing a few things. You should understand, oh, this particular sadhana is being given for this aspect of my personality. When the knowledge part is given, that is to purify my thoughts, to gain that clarity, to sharpen the intellect. When the devotional practices are given, that is to purify the emotions. Now what is interesting is, in the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, all these are mixed. Because that is a sadhana where it's the highest sadhana, we can say, where you attune yourself to the higher energy. The audio material is designed for that. And then when that energy starts flowing, it flows through each and every cell of your physical body. Your body gets purified. Your pranas get purified. Your emotions get purified. Your thoughts get purified. And it also helps in burning up your seeds. That is why Yoga Sankirtan is considered by all the yogis and siddhas as the most potent form of sadhana, because it encompasses all the aspects. It is not a lateral sadhana. It is a 360-degree sadhana. We can say that sacred science has been given in a very simple form. And audio material has been created. So many things have been done. Of course, the deeper levels have not yet been revealed, but at least the first few levels, so much of help has been given. All you need to do is just set aside some time every day and start doing that sincerely. Even that if you don't do, then that's what he says, Sharira yatra is not possible. The maintenance and sustenance is not possible. So, Sharira means the body, the three kinds of bodies, and yatra means maintenance and sustenance. This is, in these two dimensions, we have covered from the physical body right up to the causal body. Now, we'll see the next two dimensions of yatra, which is even more deep. The third dimension of the word yatra is journey. Yatra means you're going on a journey. Now, what is the implication? The moment he talks of Sharira Yatra, the journey which you're making in life, in your body, it means you are something separate from the body. Sharira represents the body, the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Yatra means a journey has been undertaken. By whom? By the person who is sitting inside this body, the indweller. Elsewhere, he uses the word dehinaha. Dehinaha means one who occupies this body. We will leave the subtle body and causal body initially so that you understand the concept. We will only take the physical body. Is your physical body by itself acting? No. You are sitting inside the physical body and you are experiencing the world through the physical body. When you are looking here right now, it is not your eyes which are looking. Even though we say my eyes saw that, it's not your eyes. You are seeing through your eyes. So the question is, who is that you? Who is that I? Who is that indweller inside this body? Am I the pranas? Once you've understood the first step, now the second step. Am I the pranas? No. Because the pranas are also a part of the Sharira only. We can observe our own pranas in meditation. Then, am I the emotions? You may be tempted to say yes, but no. Because you can observe your own emotions, which means you are separate from your emotions. That's why the emotions form a part of the Sukshma Sharira. Then am I the thoughts? From a relative level, yes. But if you go very deep, you are not the thoughts also, because you can observe your own thoughts. In deep meditation, if you close your eyes, your thoughts are running and you are the observer. So you are someone who is separate from the thoughts also. Then are you the seeds? No. The seeds form a part of the causal body. When you are in deep sleep, you exist in the seed form. But there also, after you sleep, you get up and say, I had a very deep sleep. It means you were present when that deep sleep was happening. You are separate from the seeds also. See, this is very, very subtle. In the Kaivalya Upanishads, he says that, He talks of the waking state, the dream state and the deep sleep state, and he calls them as the three cities. And you are constantly living in one of these three cities, he says. But who are you? Who am I? I am not this physical body. I am not these pranas, emotions and thoughts. That is, I am not the subtle body. I am not the causal body, the seeds. I am the Atman, the soul. That soul which is apart from the Sharira. And I am occupying this body today, the physical body. And if you go to a more advanced level, the pranas, the emotions, thought, the subtle body and the causal body. All these things are Sharira. And I am the soul sitting inside. And I have embarked upon this journey. I am the Jivatma, the individual soul. And what am I using? I am using the Sharira, these three types of bodies, to travel in this journey called life. Just as you sit in a car and you start driving the car, and you go wherever you want to go. The car is a vehicle and you are the driver. You are sitting inside the car. Similarly, friends, the Sharira is your vehicle. Three types of vehicles you're having. The physical body, the subtle body and the causal body. And you are sitting inside these three vehicles. You are the indweller. You are the Jivatma. And you keep on changing these bodies. That's what is interesting. When you change the physical body, that is what a common person calls as death. When a person dies, what actually happens? The subtle body and the causal body, they remain. It's only the stula Sharira which has been dropped. And you pick up another physical body. So birth after birth, you keep on changing your Sharira, especially the physical body. But you, as the Jivatma, you remain the same. When you go to a master, he does not look at the Sharira. He looks first at the Jivatma. His communication is always to the Jivatma. And the master's role is to make the Jivatma, the individual soul, to realize that it is not the individual soul, but it is the infinite soul, which is Paramatma. That we'll come to. But first, you understand this part. Today you have identified totally with the Sharira. You have identified not only with the physical body, you have identified with the pranas, with the mind, with the thoughts. And you are thinking that you are the Sharira. Now when he says Sharira yatra, when we take the third dimension, that is where the real sadhana starts, because he is telling you, he is giving you an indirect message that you are not the Sharira. You are the indweller who is sitting inside this body and you are on a journey. Actually, if you understand what he's trying to say, Sharira yatra, that will shake you. It will shake all your beliefs because you're believing that you are this physical body. People don't even go up to pranas, they are stuck with the physical body level. So, what is the difference between a yogi and a normal person? A yogi is one who has shifted the identification away from the body. He will still be operating in the body, but his identification is shifted. A normal person is also operating in the body, but he is completely identified with the body, not with the indweller. So the first deep step, we can say, in spirituality is to identify with the Jivatman, the individual soul. Then only comes the Paramatma. That is the final step. So, I want you to think about this. You are going about in your life today mechanically. You have no time to think about all this. You're just running from morning till night. Spend some time, at least this week. Set aside some time and just examine your own life. Who am I? I am running here, I am running there, one time I'm experiencing this, another time I'm experiencing that. When you go into the depth, the Sharira yatra, when you put this thought in your mind that, oh, I am on this journey of life, then immediately an inbuilt detachment comes from the physical body. It takes years of sadhana to get firmly established in that, but the process will be started. What is interesting is, since you have identified with the physical body so much, even when you go to master, you will take the master also as the physical body only. You will relate only to the body, the Sharira aspect. Whereas the master is actually attuned with the infinite. So the first realization is realizing that I am not the Sharira, I am the Jivatma. There is a special empowerment which the masters give to the student. As the student advances, the empowerments which the master gives also will become higher and higher. And at one stage, the master gives the empowerment for the Jivatma. That is a real milestone in spiritual development. It cannot be given when a person is completely stuck with the physical body. Gradually only one can move up. According to the level of the students, the master goes on giving them empowerments. When the student comes to an advanced level, the empowerment for the Jivatma is given. At that time, the student is ready to experientially gain the wisdom that I am not this Sharira, I am the individual soul. And then very subtle sadhana, subtle empowerments are given from that stage onwards to expand the Jivatma and make it one with the Paramatma, which is the infinite. The yogic science is very subtle, extremely deep. So where should you start off from? Very simple. How is it that you're viewing your life today? First of all, you don't have any view because you're so caught up with day-to-day activities. That's why I'm saying take some time off this week. Just half an hour. And just examine your life. Right from childhood till this moment, you've been traveling. Start seeing life as a journey. See, we don't see life as a journey. The moment you can visualize that time is something like a subtle space and you are actually traveling in that, you're actually traveling forward in time. If you can visualize this, then the whole understanding of life will become different. It will become very deep. So the moment you start seeing your life as a journey, now the next thing is, what is the vehicle which I am using to travel from one experience to another? You're all actually time travelers. Time travelers means you're traveling in time forward. Our concept of time travel, they show in the movies going back and all that. Now, what is the reality? The reality is you're traveling forward in time. And what is the vehicle? Your own Sharira. What is Sharira? Reflect. The 3 types of bodies you have. That's why that wisdom has been given for you to do the manana, reflection. Anyway, these things will be repeated again and again throughout the Bhagavad Gita in different ways. Every time it is given in a particular way, absorb it, go deep. And where will it reflect? It will reflect in your sadhana. You will start doing your sadhana with more vigor, with more consistency. If you don't absorb all this, if you don't do the manana, then you will not be able to do the sadhana in a consistent way. That is why it is said, if you really want to advance spiritually, you need to stick to one guru who is truly attuned to the infinite and follow that fully. A guru is not unilateral. A guru is 360 degrees. His sadhana spreads everywhere. In between, if you say, no, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll read this book, I'll read that book, do it if you want, no problem. But you will not grow spiritually. You will only load yourself with more information, but the absorption will not be there. Just this phrase, Sharira yatra, is enough to really take you into the depths. And week after week, the effort which is being made is not to cram you with more information, but it is to make you more deep. If you just stick to this, if you follow exactly what is being given, you will start becoming very deep. If you want to follow your own path, no problem. No master, no true master will have any objection, because he will never want to interfere with the student's karmas, with the student's choices. It's all up to each one only. All is being said here is that if you want to go to the depth, you need to dig at one place. Then only you can get water. If you dig in 10 places, you will not get water. So, Sharira yatra. Yatra means journey. This Sharira is the vehicle for the soul in its journey. So, karma, if you don't do karma, no progress is possible. Even if you want worldly progress, worldly success, it is karma which can fetch you. Karma means the right karma. That we have seen already, no? So, first dimension was maintenance. Second dimension was sustenance. From there we saw what Sharira is in depth. Because that will only take you to the third dimension. And then comes the third dimension, which is the journey. So we'll stop with that today. I want you to take it up as a homework. Homework, what is a homework? Not in intellectually trying to understand this, but using this Sharira yatra, that phrase, to examine your own life. First, what is this Sharira? What are the different aspects which I am having? Even if you make a mistake in that, no issues. Just make that effort, put that effort. Because as I told you, the same thing will be repeated again and again in different ways. So you will not miss it. Even if you make a mistake here, it will get corrected later on. Problem is if you don't put in any effort. So, what is this Sharira? And then what am I doing in life? See your life as a journey. This is a sadhana. Sharira yatra. What is the sadhana of Sharira yatra? Seeing your life as a journey in the passage of time. You take only this birth, because if you go to previous births, that will confuse it more. It will become more complex. This birth, from this moment backwards, right from childhood days till now, it's a journey which you've been going through, and you're going to continue in this journey. And you've been doing all this mechanically till this point. From this moment onwards, your journey should not be mechanical. It should be with awareness. That is what a true spiritual life is. Moving about in life, moving forward in this journey with full awareness. Only then you can evolve. If you go through this journey in a mechanical way without any awareness, it's like standing at one place and you're just moving your legs. You're just mimicking the act of walking, but you will not progress any further. Whereas, if you embark on this journey with awareness, it is like walking. You will start progressing in the true sense of the term. Your life will become so fulfilling. Your life will become so purposeful. Okay? So, do that sadhana. Reflect deeply and come back next week. I'll give you one more dimension of yatra, which is a further development to this. It is a further advanced level, Right now, utilize all this to keep gaining the wisdom, and when the right time comes, the empowerments also will be given. That much these great masters assure us. As long as we are very sincere, as long as we are seeking the truth in a sincere way, the Guru Shakti will flow and guide us. Okay. Now before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up a question. Actually, this is not a question. This is a mail which was sent to me by Narayanji. He has shared his experience of the 22-day program. There is something which the message also which I thought will be very useful to all the sadhaks. So Hari Om Guruji, pranams. I have been thinking to write this mail for quite some time, but for one reason or other it has been delayed. We'll pause there before the rest of the mail. Narayan sir, and it's not only a message to you, it's a message to all the sadhaks. From this moment onwards, don't postpone good things. If you have been thinking of writing this mail for quite some time, because of one reason or other, why give reasons? Especially when it comes to higher things, taking guidance, sharing something with the master, because he will definitely guide, no? He will be sending the healing, no? Why should you postpone? You will only be the loser, no? So never ever postpone good things, especially spiritual things. Okay, please note it down. Note it down not merely in your notebook but in your mind. So at the outset, many thanks for conducting Finding Rhythm in Life Empowerment Program and exposing us to the energy of Laya, both Brahmanda Laya and Jiva Laya, which I was not even aware of, and how to sync ourselves with it for gaining maximum benefit and growth, both spiritual and worldly. Yes, the Laya sadhana, which is the finding rhythm in life, is practically unknown to anyone. See, what has been given to you, they are very, very advanced meditations. You cannot get them in books. And even if you go to someone who claims that person can teach, this is too subtle. This is a secret of the Siddhas. So that has been given. 6 Laya sadhanas were taught to you, and empowerments were given. Very, very powerful. So then taking us through the 12 aspects of our personality, not of your personality, of your life. And out of which your personality is one aspect. That's why I'm saying that. And making the Laya energy flow through each and every aspect and strengthen it. Yes, that's what we did. The weeks have been quite challenging on one hand and satisfying on the other hand. We had natural disturbances with rain pouring in, flood and power outage, which made us take multiple empowerments on a particular day. This happened in mainly in Chennai, no? Heavy floods. Power went away for a few days. But I should congratulate all the sadhaks because not even a single person complained. Oh, the power is not there. Oh, today in between the net connection went off. Nobody complained. All the sadhaks were asking us, what should we do? We don't have power. We're not having net access. What shall we do? Solution was given. The links were resent. It's not merely video links, remember. The master was sitting and giving the empowerment, especially for that. So that is another lesson which I want all of you to learn as sadhaks. Never ever complain. Look for solutions. In spite of all those floods and everything, every sadhak completed the 22 days successfully, no? That is what is amazing. See, when you show that kind of commitment, naturally you will bring out the best from the teacher also, from the guru also. Otherwise, the student is constantly complaining, what energy can be set. So, very good. So, which made us take multiple empowerments on a particular day, I was really skeptical, if not scared, to have done this. That is, I think you're talking of the multiple empowerments. But the strength was purely coming from faith and complete surrender to the higher energy and the master. Otherwise, I don't think this would have ever been possible. It's true, sir. This is what I want all the sadhaks to realize. This empowerment course, Finding Rhythm in Life, the energy levels were very high. It's not a joke. Very, very high level of empowerments were given to you. That's why I'm saying these are not mere video links which you can just see anytime you want. I've defined the time. No, I said between this time and this time it will be available. See why? Because during those times the empowerment was given. The master was sitting and giving the empowerment. Without that, it's not possible to handle this energy. And many of you were asked to do 2 empowerments in a day because of the natural calamity. And as you have rightly said, it's not a joke. 1 empowerment itself is very difficult. 2, how is that possible? It's all because of the higher grace. The grace of all the holy siddhas and the masters. That is why it was possible. So be eternally grateful to God and all the great masters. And one thing is there, once the instructions come from the Guru, do this. Don't analyze whether that will be tough, difficult or easy or not. Just go about doing it with full surrender, which is what you have done. That's why you've been able to successfully complete. So few of the experiences during the course have been beyond words, and it's been purely experiential, and I hope growth happens in all aspects of my personality and lead a fulfilled and complete life. Yes, sir. That is the sincere wish of all the great masters. So thanks also for providing us with the sadhana material so that we can practice and master the principles which can further assist in our growth. Yes, the 12 special meditation materials which have been given, practice them along with the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana in the prescribed dosage format. They will really change your life. So thanks once again for the empowerment session and all the guidance. With humble pranams, Sadhak Narayan. I read this to everyone. One is because this is echoing the sentiments, the thoughts of all the sadhaks. And number 3 very important points. That is, number 1, don't postpone good things, spiritual things. And the other thing is, whatever be the situation, don't get into the mode of complaint. If the mind gets irritated, surrender to the higher Shakti and do the deep breathing and release that irritation. When you approach things in a calm way, even the impossible becomes possible. Proof, this 22-day empowerment. In spite of, the floods causing so much of havoc in Chennai, some people didn't have power for 3-4 days. In spite of all that, the course was completed successfully. Why? Because you have, as sadhaks, you have also grown. So consciously imbibe this principle and practice, and always be grateful to God, grateful to the Guru and all the masters. Okay? So now we'll do the Nididhyasana. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my essential self. My self is divine and infinite. I choose to do the sadhana of Sharira yatra, sustaining and maintaining the body, seeing my life as a journey of the Jivatma, the individual soul. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today's session was very powerful, very deep, quite a high level of energy. So take some time out this week and do that homework which was given to you. In the next session, I'll give you one more dimension of yatra, a further higher dimension. That's why it's very important for you to do this homework and come. It will help you to absorb the energy of the fourth dimension. If you just simply listen to this in a casual way, you may find it interesting, but that impact, that transformation, which is what these sessions are meant for, will not come about. That's why a little bit of effort from your side will go a long way in terms of helping yourself to absorb more and advance spiritually. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.